Let's see if I can do this. Okay, here's what we're looking at. Alright, this says E pluribus unum. I don't know if you can see that. Wow, this thing doesn't move right. There you go. Alright. So E pluribus unum. What that's saying is God of many, one. E pluribus unum. That's Latin. So here's what we have. This is the Hebrew alphabet. This is Aleph. And then you got Bet. That's God and His house. And they've taken that and made it into an N. So, and you got Gimel. This is a child. The Dalet, that's a teacher. A Hey, that's earth God. That's Epsilon. That's a lowercase n. That's earth God right there. God of many, God of one. This is God. This is man in the flesh. He's got desire. This is a nation. You got the... Let me make something perfectly clear. Alphabet is God's house. We're in God's house. All our letters have meaning. That's, I don't know. They've all got meaning. You can make water out of a word by giving all the letters meaning. You see? If a child's a Gimel, okay, or somebody that's learning, needs nurturing, is basically what a Gimel is. And this is a teacher, okay? And God's an O. That's a snake eating his tail because all these ends. Then you got a Gimel, God's an O, and a Dalet, which is a D, God. Okay? Gave all the letters meaning. Gimel, God, and a Dalet. But the U is an upside down N. It's lamed because it's farther on in the Hebrew alphabet, but U comes back to lamed, which means that your united God and law doesn't have a leg to stand on if it doesn't have God. It's just law. But that's when you're doing a nation. Right now we're talking about becoming the light and learning the alphabet to do that. God's an O, snake eating his tail, because when you're dealing with the alphabet, they're all sounds. The sounds are snakes. A little wave, line, whatever. You got a snake. But sounds are snakes. They make waves. Alright, so in Psalms 119 it teaches you Hebrew, but that's from the 1500s. Their alphabet ends with T. Ours has U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. You have to go back and find the meaning of the letters in our alphabet to their alphabet to understand the symbolism of their alphabet. Okay? So just to give you another example, these are standing united. Okay? A, God, united. I am the Alpha, the Omega, the beginning and the end. So you got the Z at the end, and that means divided. In the beginning they're united, in the end they're divided, but he's the beginning and the end. Okay? L, that's royalty. That's law, light. You're learning to be a majesty, a judge, a justice, or something like that. When you're learning about law, you're learning about the light, the alphabet. You're a Gimel, and I'm a Dalet. I'm a student, but I'm trying to teach what I know. Okay? So, this is where the water got turned into wine with the Gimel and the C. Putting the G on it, the law and the light. Putting the L on to make it a G. Okay? So, and then you got Aleph here. Now, this is God. This is light or law. This is the earth God. And this is pH. You know what pH stands for? We'll give the word meaning. Presence of hydrogen. pH. Okay? all your letters have meaning in your alphabet, but so does that mean that the periodic table, it's all got meaning with our alphabet? Let's find out. Okay, now let's see. We've gone over that, and that. Epsilon, beta, okay. Alright, there's the periodic table. Starts out with hydrogen, that's water generation. Hydro's water generation, okay? That's not water because it doesn't have oxygen. H2O, hydrogen, and 2 oxygen. The lazy 8, oxygen doesn't survive by itself, so it needs 2 oxygens together to be stable. I was telling you, God's eating his tail. Right there. That's God eating his tail. They call it an Ouroboros. That's God united with Rush. Rush is desire, Resh. So God united with Resh. God's house, God's Resh, God's hiss. His sound, his, okay? That's a negative or a neutral. Maybe both. More than likely it is. Alright? So anyways, we got hydrogeneration. There's an easy way to remember this periodic table. Okay? On the first day, God said, let there be light. That's 2 hydrogen atoms coming together. There's a spark and a loss of mass, Adam's rib. The spark's the very first light in the universe. Bone in my bone and flesh in my flesh. 2 of the same things come together, 2 hydrogen atoms. That makes the sun and every element on the periodic table. That's the house. Then you got the house of the earth god. Helium. Helium, when it gets an extra proton, the hydrogen gets an extra proton, it becomes helium. And that goes up into the exosphere and makes a protective barrier from meteors and asteroids. And it separates the waters above from the waters below. The hydrogen in space from the hydrogen on Earth. That's what helium does. It creates a firmament to protect the people and separates the hydrogen, the waters above from the waters below. Now lithium, this is the light of the law, and the spark, I. Alright, the reason the I is the spark, we're going to find out, and that has to do with the all-seeing eye. But on the third day, God made dry land. This is a dry cell battery. It's number 3. It's the light and the spark. And then the house of the earth god, beryllium. Alright, beryllium, boron, and that, they make everything malleable, but our sun was made, but then the other suns and planets and everything else were made from ours, and wow, everything. Okay? So, the house of the earth god is the house, okay. Then you got, this is you, carbon. You're the oil, the light. You're number 6. And on the 7th day, God rested. It's an inert gas, don't react with nothing. He's rested. But on the 8th day, God had not made it rain upon the earth. 8 is oxygen on the periodic table. You need 2 oxygen to go with the hydrogen to make it rain upon the earth. And then you got neon with the spark. It makes colors and lights. So those are the natural numbers. Alright. NN, natural numbers, make an M. So anyways, we got that. So now we know, you know, I've got the nostrils here because that's got meaning in the Bible. And Now we're getting to the spark that caused the hydrogen to come together, because the hydrogen didn't have the desire or the will to combine. So something you can only call desire, the spark, the magnetism of it, made the hydrogen combine. So now we're talking electric. All right, now, this is pretty good. First thing is you got hydrogen, you don't have it till you have oxygen, so we're just dealing with hydrogen. To make up a hydrogen, you need a proton and an electron. To make a proton and an electron, you need an ion. Okay? So these are 3 snakes. That's a snake, that's a snake, so that makes 5. But these 3 snakes make God's house. Alright, you see that? You put that O inside there, and then you put that negative, that I. Alright? And the reason that's an I is because an I, and this is the pupil, is black and doesn't have a frequency. See, you have to have a frequency to have anything generate a little bit of power or something. So an eye takes in all kinds of light, and then it creates a spark, and that sends that spark to your brain. Right? And your brain does something with it. I don't know what it does with it, but we'll see. Okay? But that eye will send a spark to your brain. Your ear does the same thing. It's got 25,000 nerve endings that vibrate and send a spark to your brain. Smell has a frequency. It sends a spark to your brain. Wind, everything sends a spark to your brain. Okay? So when you got a question, and I give you an answer, that spark becomes light, and it made something. A delta creates something else. Alright, so anyways, now we know that it all has to do with electricity. Okay? So, God's an O, He has a house, and it's water, and it's hydrogen. It creates everything. Alright, ohm, that's resistance. Alright, so you got your R is resistance, but the ohm is resistance, but we made that water. God's house is water. Alright, now this is saying 1 because we're making 1 into a numeral, a number into a numeral, an M, put the N's together, but we're going to make a number into a numeral. This is God, a number, and an energy. This is the idea, is to turn a number into a numeral. Alright, now over here you got Jesus, He's on the cross. Okay? That's because when you have total negative, whatever, but say you got 2 sounds, they ain't making nothing, and then you get a 3rd sound. There's a, and there's a spark. Is that a C or a K? See, the K is dark, and the C is light. Right? See, you got God eating His tail, and then when there's light, it turns into a C. And I'm teaching you about light and law. I'm turning you into a Gimel, giving you some nurturing. Okay? So, anyways, J is a sound. When you look into sound physics and that, it's a sound, and it's a joule. Alright? So, what's a joule? It's a high power, okay? Look, a volt, 1 volt, is equal to 1,000 watts. You put the 2 V's together, that makes a W for watts, the volt. Alright? Let's see. So we've got the number into a numeral and that. I'm going to show you how that's done. This is a K. Alright? Because this is dark. And this over here, this is King Sejong of Korea. Now he wrote the Korean language, and this is the symbol that's on his monument. And you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So you got 2 V's here. That makes an X. Is that a times? Vaginal, is that, these are wombs. Alright, matrix is for a womb, the W, but anyways, showing you how letters are getting created. Alright, so, alright, now our idea is to make an A and a 1, or an I, or an L, or something, I don't know, but A1. See? Because we're doing the alphabet, but your numbers and everything, colors, everything comes from this. So everything's got meaning. Now this V, alright, the V is designating 0. And this is the I. Okay? So this is the V designating 0. This is a womb, something will come from it, and this is an I. I'm trying to show you what's going on here when this is taken in light. Alright, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right here we got 1, 2, 3, 4. We've only got 4. Alright, so here's what we're looking for. It's starting to take in light. Alright, and when it does, there's a spark. Say it's a volt. I don't know. It's 1. It's 1. Now what do we got? We got an A and a 1. AI1. Now we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is how everything's created. He created a language. Right? We got 5. That's the earth god. What's this over here? This is pretty good too. And this, we got the A to 1. We created water. We gave everything meaning. 1, or God, a number, and an energy. We got God, a number, and an energy. The A. Alright, or is 1 the energy? Or are they both? Okay. Now you got A, B, and C, and D. This is a delet. A delet creates something else, a triangle. So you can't create something with 2. You need 3 lines, a triangle. Makes all the platonic solids, so on and so forth. But that makes Earth God. And these are all sounds. And the Aleph Bet that make all this. The vibration in your ear makes that spark, and boom, boom. Alright, so now we got that. Alright, now, and we know Gimel is a G. You got God's an O, and a Dalet, that's God. Turn the E into an earth god, teaching you how everything was created. Okay, so now we got that. Now, I'll tell you who my father is. See, boom, you had the Big Bang. There's dust in the universe or whatever, in the cloud, and there's this ultraviolet glow coming off it that kills everything. And you got your neutrons and your protons, and there's a spark in the dust, and it causes the hydrogen atoms to come together, and that makes the sun and every element on the periodic table. Okay, that ultraviolet glow that kills everything, that's Lucifer Lux, bringer of the light. And the sun, well, that's my father, father of all living. So, y'all have a good day.